Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to the Bold Widow. I'm gonna take these off because they're very noisy. Yeah, so today is September 16th. This video should be going up tomorrow, I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it'll go up tomorrow. And I just wanted to read to y'all. We were featured in the Amarillo Globe News today, and yeah, I'm in awe, I'm in shock. A old acquaintance of mine reached out the day that we launched and said that, you know, she would like to do an interview if that would be okay, and we've actually struck up a really amazing friendship since then. And she works with my best friend, and who works with the girl that I went to high school with, who I graduated with her brother. Anyways, small towns. But yeah, and I was like, of course, I'd love to. And you know, a little short interview turned into a 3-hour interview, and then she talked to my mom, and she talked to some of our best friends, and I thought that it'd be cool if I read it to y'all. I have already read it. This is not a first impression. I picked it up this morning on the way to church and was running late, so I didn't even get to read it before church, so I sat through. Good thing it was a good service, or I would have been like, whoo. So I got home, and I read it, and I cried. Took a little breather and set up my camera, and now I'm going to read it to you guys. So it is the front page of our town. There's a picture of Klaus and I, and then there's a picture of some of our wedding pictures, and then Klaus's little lounger, which will come up here in a minute. So it says, to Shell Klebold, the Bold Widow. Sorry. Journey through widowhood includes surviving challenging social... Y'all, I'm sorry. I promise I can read. Okay. Start over. Journey through widowhood includes surviving challenges, societal norms, and grief while building a clothing brand inspired by the grittiness of survival. By Bailey Myers for the Amarillo Globe News. They had an intimate wedding ceremony on a buffalo hide behind a double-wide trailer. Heavy rainfall was expected during their backyard celebration in Lockhart, but not a single drop dared to fall until the reception concluded. This was the accumulation of a 10-year romance with on and off dating, 3 marriage proposals, and seasons spent apart. Shell Klebold's wedding was her homecoming. The Amarillo resident was 24 years old at the time. After discovering herself and shaping her views on the world, she had decided to come home to the love of her life, William Klebold. I always told him, if I ever decide I'm ready to get married, and I'm ready to make that commitment, I will come home to you, she said, wherever that means. She returned home in October of 2014. 1 year later, Shell became a widow. The couple's son, Kid William Klaus, was born 27 days after William died. The unexpected loss shook countless people throughout the Texas Panhandle and other nearby communities where William lived and worked. Now, 3 years after the fatal accident, Shell is dedicated to reaching the grieving with a message. It's not just one of hope, but of daily survival. Her new clothing line, Klebold Threads, launched July 27th. It was created to build a family within a community rippled with loss, from deaths in the recent wildfires and increasing suicide rate. When you lose your closest family because they don't know how to deal with you, it's like an everyday loss, said Klebold. We can build a family just as easily as God built ours, and they can sometimes be more healthy. A lifelong devotion to horses. Helping others fight their physical and emotional battles is nothing new to Shell. Shannon Timberlake, her mother, ran a hippotherapy operation in the late 1990s. This form of occupational therapy utilizes horseback riding as a rehabilitative and therapeutic treatment for the disabled, ultimately improving an individual's balance, coordination, and strength. The operation, Timberlake Therapies, was located in the southeast Amarillo, and the business included the use of an indoor pool for aquatic therapy. The pool caused black mold and forced us to close down, said Timberlake. In what felt like an instant, the mother and daughter lost their home, employees, and a bulk of their business. For the Timberlake women, this is one of many journeys through tough times. The pair moved into a small home in Canyon. The business continued, but in a smaller capacity. One day, their farrier, Brad, a specialist in equine hoof care, brought his apprentice, William, with him to work with the horses. A farrier trims and shoes horses' hooves. "I fell madly in love with him," said Timberlake. His smile just radiated his whole person. She insisted that William meet her daughter. They were brought together one evening in the front lawn of that small red home, or shack, as Tashelle remembers it. She was a 15-year-old girl, dressed in an oversized t-shirt and a satin firefly pajamas. William was 17 and dressed in his dirty work clothes. They joined a small party and drove to Umbarger for a barbecue that evening. William was love-struck, confessing to the table that he would someday marry this girl. "He's pursued me ever since," said Tashelle. William had worked with horses for most of his life. His father was a farrier and his stepfather a team roper. He followed suit. "He was a very talented team roper," said Tashelle. "In grade school, he wouldn't hang out with guys who partied. If you weren't there to rope, and only rope, he wouldn't hang out with you." Tashelle was also involved in rodeo and horse showing from a young age. In 2008, she won 6th in the world in an English class showing Appaloosas. While William found joy in all things equine, Tashelle preferred traveling to the strict routine vital care of keeping horses. "I ran with the skaters, the cowboys, and the hippies, and the popular kids," she said. "I wanted to be experiencing everything, not just horses." Their work with horses brought the couple together, but ultimately separated them when William went off to school to become a farrier, and Tashelle, after a childhood of caring for animals, spent her early 20s traveling. When she decided she was ready, she made that life-changing call to William in 2014. Within 2 weeks, she was back home, and the pair were living together in Lubbock, where William owned nearby FedEx routes. They planned on marrying the next October, but Tashelle discovered that she was pregnant, and the couple bumped the wedding up to May of 2015. Afterward, they moved back to Amarillo. I'm going to pause right there. So I knew that it was going to be coming out in the paper soon, but I didn't know. I just knew it was going to be a Sunday paper, and so last week I got on our local website and checked, and it wasn't there. And this morning I woke up at 5 a.m. for some reason, and I couldn't go back to sleep, and so I checked like every hour to see if it was on the website, and it never was, so I assumed that it wasn't going to go out this weekend. But in pursuit of finding it, I typed my name into the search engine, and this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but to this day, I know a lot more, but I don't fully know what happened in the minutes of what happened to my husband. The depression and the postpartum depression and the losing my daughter and everything was so much that I in the immediate time after, I couldn't take it in. It was too much, just the idea of drowning. And then as time went on, and I was like, I keep trying to function, the details just become more and more of something that I didn't want to know. I've had so much hardship and anxiety and resentment with water, and the whole idea of like his last minutes and last seconds and his headspace, I haven't been able to let myself go there. And when I looked at my name, just expecting like the possible article coming, I wasn't thinking, and I found several articles from his passing and from a benefit that they had after, but there was pictures of like fire trucks with like the ladder out, and like pictures of the divers, and that I'm still processing. I didn't read the articles, but when I read this article, she had read the articles, and I'm sure I didn't tell her that I hadn't, and I wanted her to do, I'm just forever grateful to Bailey for this, but I learned things, so we'll go on. The Diamond Horseshoe Playa. Amarillo is a semi-arid temperate. I don't know what that means or if I'm saying it right. But it says, which is the climate prone to formations of playa lakes. A playa lake, or a dry lake, is formed when water from rain or another source flows into a depression in the landscape. They are scattered throughout the city and often dry up during periods of little rainfall. One relatively constant and deep playa lake is located near the intersection of Interstate 27 and South Bell Street. Drivers can spot the Diamond Horseshoe Playa from the highway. Horses rest nearby the water on the land where a local horse trader, Bodie Baldwin, trains and exercises horses. After the couple moved back to Amarillo, William worked with Baldwin, exercising the horses and teaching them the fundamentals of obeying their riders. Okay, we can go to the next page. Sorry about that noise. I'll go ahead and show y'all real quick. Can you believe how much of this paper? Oh my god, I'm just shocked. That's William's beautiful smile. I don't know if I can get it focused. Kind of. And then a picture from our wedding. And a picture of Klaus and I. Okay. The night before October 14th of 2015, William sat next to his wife on their bed giggling as they watched Big Bang Theory on TV, which this was the bed. He was actually sitting right here in the middle. I slept right there. The bed was on the other side of the room, but we were watching that TV, and I still watch Big Bang Theory every night. It's the only thing that I can get out of my head when I'm having nightmares. And the new season came out, so we're watching that last night when I couldn't sleep. Anyways. Let's see, Big Bang Theory on the TV. He was prone to falling asleep as soon as his head hit the pillow, but this night was different. He was extremely happy to be horseback again, said Tichelle. The next day, William exercised the horses as usual. As he trotted through the water with the last horse of the day, the pair became entangled in submerged barbed wire. Between his cowboy boots, stirrups, spurs, and the wire, he became submerged and trapped beneath the water. Baldwin, who was nearby, turned to find the horse standing in the water. William had disappeared. Baldwin fetched an external defibrillator and dove into the water. I want to say he was wearing an external defibrillator, but I don't know. But it's just technicality. Had the defibrillator not shorted, he would have been electrocuted in his attempt to save William, which is true. Emergency responders arrived within minutes. Police sent divers into the water and cut the wire and freed the horse. They found William in 15 feet of water, roughly 35 feet from the shoreline. Across town, a pregnant Tichelle and her mother were unloading the couple's items into their new home. The face of Southern hospitality. During the years since her husband's death, Tichelle faced criticism and even abandonment from those she considered close friends. I feel a lot of pressure of how I'm supposed to widow, how long I'm allowed to widow, and it's none of their business, she said. I think if we would quit with the Southern hospitality of putting on a face every day, there would be a lot less hurt and a lot more knowing that we are not alone. In searching for support, she found little resources or groups for widows her own age. Klebold Threads is her response to those years of loneliness. She aims to reach those who, like herself, have been pressured to get over it, their grief. I couldn't really relate to war widows because their husbands go to battle. My husband went to ride a horse, Tichelle said. Their home rests on 3 acres with a bunkhouse, barn, and arena. It's home to horses, goats, and chickens with names like Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, and Bruce Henner. Funny story in a minute that I'll come back to. Tashelle works on Klebold Threads from her living room, which doubles as an office. 2 recliners nestled in the corner facing a wall-mounted television serves as an office chair. One of the recliners is small with fabric resembling cowhide. This is where Klaus, now 2 years old, ascends his throne and works alongside his mother. Klaus has the same long brown hair as his father. It falls before his eyes in a mess of loose waves. Tashelle sees William in his smile. I prayed for William's smile and hands, and I got both. I prayed for my patience, and I didn't get that. Klaus surprised his parents. Tashelle says he is the reason that she is still here. I was on birth control and I still wound up pregnant, she said. I definitely think God has a plan for me in Klebold Threads, but I think Klaus is really going to do something in this world. He brings out so much in people. He's just a little beacon of hope for people who know him. Tashelle splits her time between studying studio art at WTAMU, caring for the animals, Klaus, and the running of Klebold Threads. We launch 7 new shirts every quarter year, one of which will be a collaboration with the fellow survivor. She wrote on her website, kleboldthreads.us. She will donate 50% of the proceeds from each featured shirt to the charity chosen by the quarter's collaborator for the launch of her brand. Tashelle featured herself and a basic black shirt with the words, "There will be bad days and they will end," across the back. A portion of the proceeds from this shirt will go to a nonprofit organization, No Kid Hungry. Its mission is to solve problems of hunger and poverty for children in the United States and around the world. Ledwig, which is one of my best friends, believes the launch of Klebold Threads is like a light at the end of the tunnel for both Tashelle and the people she hopes to inspire. She's doing this to help other people, she said. She's found her voice. Water is a trigger. It calls back the memory of what was lost, often long-lasting nightmares. Tashelle's metaphorical creek is a reflection of the way she now relates to water. It's the swamp, the muck, the ugliest part, she said. Thank you, Bailey. Thank you. I said I'd tell you a funny story. So, Ellen DeGeneres is what started it, and then I had a Whoopi and Dolly, and I just kept naming chickens after celebrities that I thought they looked like. Like Ellen DeGeneres has this blonde little, she's great. But we had this rooster that we didn't need. We only needed 1 rooster for our herd of chickens, and so we were gonna sell him in our yard sale. So we got him out and put him in a dog kennel and had him ready with his water and food and everything to be sold the next day. And the next morning, there was an egg with Bruce Henner, and he was a she. It's a freak thing. I named him Bruce Henner because Henner, Jenner Henner, I thought that would be funny. And he was a boy, but he wasn't a boy after all. Oh, that's funny. How else to end a video of, I don't know. I'm broken and baffled and hugged, and I feel more understood than I've felt since everything happened. So, thank you for watching. If you'd like to hear more of our story, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave me comments, ask me questions. You can follow me on my other social medias. They're linked down below. This kind of started as an online journal, and now I've got a community growing out of it, and it's more than I could have ever asked for. I hope that we find more survivors out there, and we're able to have a community that understands each other when our friends and family, no matter how hard they try, sometimes they just can't get it. But we can. So reach out, start conversations in the below comment area, and I love you guys.